Hello, everyone. I'm Shirin Alipana, your host for today and your local real estate expert. Thanks for joining us as we explore a topic that is very close to many of our hearts, Social Security for seniors. Our guest speaker today is a true financial whiz with over 2 decades dedicated to ensuring seniors navigate their golden years with confidence and security. She is here to break down the complexities of Social Security into simple, actionable advice. So let's get ready to learn from the best on how to maximize those benefits. And please join me in warmly welcoming Lenka Holman, who's here to make understanding Social Security straightforward and stress-free for each of us. Thank you, Lenka, for joining us today. I appreciate your time. So before we get started and dive into this topic of Social Security, why don't we take a few minutes to learn a little bit about you, your background, and then we'll move forward.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being asked to join you today. I have been in the financial services industry for over 2 decades. And one of the things that I have learned over that time frame is there is no one size fits all, no one perfect solution. It's more of a situation where you learn the language, you learn the rules, and you say, oh, this is how it works best for me. So one of the things that I have done is I have done education seminars for decades now on Social Security because it is the most important piece of most people's retirement. It shouldn't be, but it is. And I am going to share with you a little bit about some of the rules and some of the pitfalls. I could give 20, 30, 40, 50 scenarios, and then I could still miss a scenario of one of your listeners. I know that this is going to be replayed at another time. And so, what I was hoping to do today, with your permission, is give you definitions and then give you some snapshots so that anyone who is reviewing this can say, oh, that's me, and take a screenshot of what is actually applicable to them. Not going too deep, but I do want to also share some nuggets of things that aren't on slides, that are not normally seen in the normal presentations. So with your permission, I'm going to go ahead and share a screen, if that's okay.
Yes, please. Thank you.
We will get that started. And I will go into presentation mode if it lets me. I love technology. Did that work for you? Do you see the Social Security presentation? Yes?
Yes, we can, and it's full screen.
Wonderful. Okay, first, my disclosure, and then I'll give you the formal disclosures. I'm not nationwide. I don't work for Nationwide. They are one of the providers that I can use if it's appropriate. But what I will say is Nationwide is one of the absolute best resources in this area. One of the things that I've noticed is that they are very cognizant of the truth that a number of individuals must rely on Social Security. And as such, they've put out great materials that summarize it in real people speak, in real talk. So here are the blah, blah, blahs. Keep all the lawyers happy. We want to make sure that nobody gets upset about that. So I'm putting these up for you. Disclaimer, blah, blah, member of FINRA. Now, here's one of the things that people don't realize. They think that I am going to go to retirement, and at that point, I am just going to go ahead and get my Social Security at X age. If you take a look at the number on the right there, 80% difference if you file at the wrong time. I'm going to talk about what the wrong time is, and it's not the same for everyone. However, there are a lot of rules, okay? One of the things that I hear a lot of, I'll call them financial entertainers, I call a financial entertainer somebody who has something that they want to go into a cute little sound bite. We can get it on TikTok and Instagram, and everybody come to me, and I will give everybody the square peg for their round hole. I don't believe that anybody should ever think that all of it works for them, because while as a general guideline, I tell people do not file early, I've also had individuals who I have coached who that was perfect for them. They had health issues. They didn't have other incomes. They had a situation where they really had no choice, and they could live in abject poverty, or they could choose to turn on their Social Security early. Why would you become homeless if you have the ability to turn on an early source of income? Three things we're going to talk about. It is the choice of a lifetime, and what I want to be, with almost no exceptions, you need to know that once you make the choice of starting Social Security, you have almost zero repercussions to say, oops, I made a mistake. I want to make a change. It's done. Once you file paperwork, to undo that choice is really, really difficult and almost impossible. That being said, if you educate yourself now, I'm imagining the individuals who are looking at this aren't at Social Security yet. You're in good shape. Basics. It's a damn language change. You have no idea the FRAs with the BIAs on the, no. Let's talk about giving you a magic decoder ring, so when somebody talks to you about Social Security, you understand what they're talking about. This is what I mentioned before. As a rule, I tell people that it's generally not a great choice to file Social Security at the earliest possible time. Like I said, the financial entertainers out there are screaming, you don't know if it's going to be there. Start your Social Security now because it's going to be gone if you don't start it today. No, that's a scare tactic. Is the Social Security system in trouble? Absolutely. Absolutely. But more so for the younger generation. I don't know if they're going to get anything. I do think that they're going to continue paying their entire lives. But are they going to get anything out of it? I don't know. Those of us who are closer, we are more likely to be able to get Social Security and go by the guidelines. And the reason is quite simple. Imagine if tomorrow we said, everybody who has Social Security, sorry, you don't get it anymore. How many homeless would we have? It would be catastrophic. So nearly half of individuals file for reduced benefits. Reduced benefits. 62 is the absolute earliest, but reduced benefits. And they don't know that they are locking themselves into the lowest possible payout. And I'm going to show you a little bit of how that works. How do you figure what is your PIA, primary insurance amount? If you're taking notes, this is one of the decoder ring things. Primary insurance amount is what you would get at full retirement age, not at 62, at full retirement age. And it's based on the highest 35 average years of wages. There's more to it, and the calculations are pretty complicated. But what I can say is, if you take a look at your Social Security statement, you won't have to do your calculations. You can very simply look at the statement, which is available on Social Security SSA.gov, SSA.gov, and then you'll know. Okay, take a look at that Social Security statement. It includes all of your pertinent information, including a graph that says for your situation, if you file at 62.3, what does that mean? And a tremendous amount of other additional information. So anyone who, they used to mail these to us, they don't do that anymore. You have to go online to create an account and get this, but it is absolutely critical for you to do this. A lot of people will just say, I'm going to go down to the Social Security office and they'll tell me what I need to know. They will not give you this statement. They will not give you this statement. They will give you a summary of a couple options. And by law, they are not allowed to give you a recommendation as to what's best for you. They are a government worker who has said, these are your options. Which do you want? They can lose their job. So let's understand that. It goes into detail. What works for you? So, and trying to get this to move forward. Apologies. Technology, I love you. There we go. It was hesitating. So FRA, here is your next decoder ring special that you need to write down. FRA is full retirement age. I would say 80 to 90 people, 90% of the people who I ask, when is Social Security full retirement age? They'll say 65. Nope. It depends on what year you were born. Remember how I said there's no one size fits all? So somebody who is ailing, having issues, who needed to retire earlier, they also have to take a look at down to how many months from their birth date as to what their actual full retirement age is. I know I keep bashing on that particular number, but I'll show you why. If you file early, there can be some serious repercussions. Okay. If you file late, it can be great. You can file at age 70 and you can increase your monthly by an 8% guaranteed per year. There are not a lot of investments in this world who have a guaranteed 8% per year. And for now, that's what we get with Social Security. Okay. The problem is on the other side, in this area, it goes down substantially. You file early, guess what? $700 at age 70, $1,240. If you need this Social Security, that extra $540 could be the difference of eating. Let's be straight. And let's honestly look at this. How many people can live in San Diego on $1,240 a month? Not too many. It's a massive difference. There are different rules. Now, I'm going to go through this next section relatively quickly with the request that each and every one of you notice which of these rules applies to you and make a screenshot. Be prepared to do a screenshot because you won't be able to write it down in time. And by the way, all of these rules are as of today. And yes, they do change rules. And it looks like we're looking at a potential other government shutdown again. Don't get me started on politics. So what will it look like in a year? What will it look like in 6 months? What will it look like next week? I can't guarantee. I just know that this is what the rules are as of today. Filing on your spouse's benefit. Remember, PIA, primary insurance amount. If you didn't have an income, you can get up to 50% of your spouse's income. If that is higher than yours, many spouses chose to stay at home and take care of the kids. Okay. These are the rules. If you have a spouse that potentially has a Social Security income, got to be married for at least a year. You got to have one spouse, the higher earning spouse, presumably, has to file before the other spouse gets it. That's a change. I mentioned very quickly well, before we were on here that they changed that rule. And what it did is it reduced the benefits that somebody could get and the strategies that someone could get for the lower earning spouse. Generally, that was the woman. So what they did was they cut women's benefits in Social Security, and almost no one knows that it happened. And this was close to 10 years ago now. So we need to watch out for this. Stay tuned with individuals who are very, very focused. And now one good change is that it does include same-sex couples, which a few years ago, that was not the case. For a surviving spouse, if you are a widow or a widower, these are the rules that you will need to know. I jokingly say there's a lot of hanky-panky in the older generation because they don't have any incentive to get married. If you get remarried and you're close to Social Security, you may end up losing a very nice Social Security benefit. So a lot of older seniors choose to live in sin so they can really move forward because they have a surviving spouse. But if they were to get remarried, they may lose the benefits that they were entitled to. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. Okay. Divorce. Some people have 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 of them. And if you do, imagine this, if this person had a very high Social Security amount, each and every one of those ex-spouses can receive up to 50% of that individual's. Now, this one, one thing that I want to point out, the ex-spouse does not have to file beyond 2 years after the divorce. That actually changed because sadly enough, a lot of spouses might have been in good shape, didn't need the money, and so they purposely didn't file for Social Security so the ex-spouse would not be able to get that money. It was a spite thing, and that was one of the good changes that they made in Social Security items. Dependent children. When I was 12 years old, my father passed away. And so until I was 18, I received Social Security, small amount of Social Security. My mother received the Social Security to help support me. Disabled individuals. This gets very qualified or complicated, beg your pardon. Very complicated. So what I would suggest if you're a disabled individual, seek guidance. Do not try to file by yourself. There are a lot of loopholes and a lot of barriers that they put up for somebody to actually get it. And I have heard, do not know if it's true, that the internal requirement is for somebody to be declined 3 times before allowing a disability claim in those areas. Now, this is one of that kind of upsets me. For government employees, you may or may not have Social Security. But what if you had dual careers? I have one individual who's a government employee, currently a teacher, and had a full, very vibrant career prior to being a teacher. They call it the windfall elimination provision. They're cutting their Social Security and they can cut it as much in half. And the second one is the government pension offset. And by the way, anyone who needs the details, and this applies to them, that's a very long, complicated scenario. And I have detailed information on that. So if somebody were to reach out to me, I could provide that. This is a snapshot of it. It gets complicated. Let me just say, take a screenshot and give a call to an expert because you don't want to make a mistake. Government pension, same thing. Take a screenshot, make a note that you need the detailed information. I can get that to you without a problem. And look how much it can actually reduce it. This is massive. Massive. This individual would have had $1,250 per month. Because of this, got zero. Do not underestimate it. Another, full retirement age, working. Specifically for this group, I want to make a note. Somebody will say, oh, I'm not working anymore. I'm going to go ahead and do this. But if you're receiving an income from a rental, it's still considered an income. It still counts against this. So once again, if you're under the full retirement age, you are locking in a lower amount, and they take away even more if you're still working. So they tried to discourage you in the most horrible way from actually filing early. And remember what I said at the beginning of this, it's very difficult to undo these choices. So if you file early, come at the end and say, whoa, wait a minute, hold on. You're withholding this much money, and look at the annual limit. They want to make sure that people aren't making too much money. Is in San Diego $21,240 too much money? I wouldn't say that. But Social Security does. They take a look at the national average. They don't look at what it takes. I mean, good grief. What kind of a place can you live on $1,770 a month? And that's without eating. Taxation. And then they tax you, especially if it's early. So wait a minute. I'm locking in something at a lower than what I'm entitled to. They're going to take away half of that because I'm earning too much money. And then they're going to tax me. This is what I'm talking about. Most people don't really realize the negative impacts of filing early until their first tax cycle. Then you're too late. So understanding all of this before is incredibly important. That brings to me, okay, how are we individualized? Finding a report that does this. Remember, I said Nationwide is one of the best resources. They will take that piece of paper, that report from the Social Security Department, and they will put it into an analyzer and give you a specific report, not just on you, but also on you and your spouse. And what if we do this? What if I file early and my spouse files later? What if we both file at on the same day? What if I file on my full retirement age? And those are all scenarios. And then you can choose what's best for you. This assessment is informational only. It's not telling you when to file because it does not take into consideration things that are as important as your health, longevity. If you have terminal disease, you're going to want to start taking it. There's so many other things. So this is the fact finder, very simple. It can be filled in less than 10 minutes without a problem. And then you can make the correct choice of a lifetime. Hopefully that's what you were looking for as far as a broad spectrum overview, because this is so individual.
This was great. Thank you so much, Lenka. Oh my God, I learned a ton. So yeah. And some of the things that you said are happening behind the scene and nobody knows because there are no announcements, nothing. Oh my God,
No.
eye-opening.
Mm.
I really appreciate that. So tell us a little bit about you and your firm, and if somebody has questions or something that they want to get clarification on, how they can reach out to you.
Absolutely. My name is Lenka Holman once again, and I am with the Wealth Wave, the How Many Works company. The easiest way of finding me is simply lenkaholman.com, LenkaHolman, lenkaholman.com. There aren't too many Lenkas in the world, so you can find me. And there's a tremendous amount of information because I do quite a bit of public speaking, but on there is a chat form. You can reach out to me. There's a contact form. You can make an appointment for a 15-minute consult, regardless of what the questions are. If it has to do with money, I can either answer it or find the right person who can.
That's the important topic in everybody's life for sure. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, Lenka. And again, back to our audience, thank you for watching another episode of Senior Home Hub. But Lenka Holman, as she mentioned, the easiest way to reach out to her is lenkaholman.com. This video will be available on our YouTube. It's going to live on our different platforms, so you can always refer back to all the great information that Lenka has shared with us. And also we'll provide all her information in our website as well, just so if you have any questions or if you want to have further conversations on this, you can reach out to her directly. As usual, I just want to put it out there again. At Village Core, our goal is to provide a resource center, a resource hub where all of our senior community can come to learn, to get educated, to get access to the experts and find the information that they are looking for. So if you are a service provider and you want to offer some of your expertise and advice and tips in any of the spaces that you're expert in, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll get you plugged in so we can grow this community. We can provide more value and more benefits. And if you're in this community and you're looking for something else that is not covered in our websites and our different platforms and service guidance that we are offering, please reach out to us too. And we would love to hear from you so we can actually make this a holistic community where you can just come in and have it as your one-stop shop. With that, again, I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful weekend.